Good afternoon, everyone. Assuming it is afternoon where you are, it's obviously afternoon where I am, and that's why I said it. Well, hello and welcome back to Mech Engineer. Now, at the end of the last episode, we actually managed to clear out a couple more spaces. No more obvious locations than I've already marked. A couple of people said that there's definitely something up here, but we don't know exactly what it is because this tile hasn't been... Well, actually, has that tile been uncovered? I guess this one seems to suggest no. It would have a ring around it if we knew definitely that tile had nothing there. These ones I can see to a certain degree. Well, no, you know what? I think you might be right. Any tile that I've personally been on is marked with the blue outline. And I can assume that every tile around that has been seen because that's just the way it works. I can see all of these tiles there. So I know that there's nothing here, and I know there's nothing there as well. You're very, very correct. That means that the only possible place that this one can be is there. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Diolch yn fawr iawn. A couple of people mentioned it. I was like, no, I can't see it. I mean, I know there's one up there. There has to be, but I don't know exactly what it is. But you were bang on the money with that one. Well done indeed. But you know what? Since we've already started, let's address a couple of the comments. Now, Bryce Jacob suggested that the reason I'm not seeing any evasion attempts on the dig rig is that I've not selected the evasion perk for its pilot. However, that kind of runs contrary to what my impression of the mechanic was, and that was that all of the evasion stat did, I don't believe I have anyone who's got an available level up for me to check, but all of that did was give extra evasion, something like 15% I believe it was. Not that it turned on the ability to evade, because if we add the degree, you know what, I'll put the Firestone back there as well. Yes, I took some time to paint the Firestone, but I might be repainting it actually. But let's have a look at the dig rig first. I've already got mods on the dig rig, the auxiliary mods that add 25% evasion rating and stability regen. So the stability is helpful, but it adds evasion. So I assume that because I can add this on the mech itself, that you didn't need a pilot who had the evasion perk. It's just that would make them better at evading. If that is how it works, then it kind of runs contrary to what I assume the mechanic is, since that I can invest specific points into the accuracy of a weapon. If it worked as you're suggesting, Bryce, then if it was consistent, then the accuracy of the weapon wouldn't matter unless I had a pilot with the accuracy perk, at which point it would be the weapon's accuracy plus an additional 30% because of the perk. So I can only assume that's not the way it works, but I am completely open to being advised that I am, in fact, wrong about this. If I am, I will be... Well, that is a very interesting game choice, and it's kind of obfuscated if that's the way it works. It's not very intuitive, but I assume that you can, in fact, dodge, or rather evade, without the perk, as long as the mech has enough evasion stat. That all being said, I don't know for certain, though. And, of course, let's check out the Firestorm's paint job there. There we go. I've gone with a very, very fiery bit of paint. It looks like it's been walking... Look, this mech can walk around on volcanoes, okay? So I thought I'd give it a bit of paint to make it look like it has. Little capacitor there for the laser, and just a bit of red up there. I'm not 100% on this paint job here, but Angela's 5292 suggested that the name for our new mech should consider the fire and the slowing effects of its weapons, and they proposed the name Freeze Burn. And I'd love to hear people's thoughts on that one. If there's enough support for this in the comments, then I will rename it, and I will come up with a new paint scheme to suit the rename, and we'll go with a kind of fire and ice kind of theme with that. Though, talking about the Firestorm, Frey Prevesk noted how apt it was that someone named Phoenix was piloting a mech that could stand in a volcano while spewing rockets and laser death without overheating. And while it wasn't intentional, I must confess, I kind of wish it had been, because that is absolutely perfect. Absolutely wonderful. Going back to the mission screen, though, Abieska asks what the column of blue and purple icons that is moving across the map is. This is a superstorm. You can find out if you turn on the legend there, Megastorm, the residual effects after the orbital bombardment of the enemy. It goes around the entire planet in a circle. Moving the city in the storm is impossible. The storm itself isn't a threat per se, but as it mentioned, the city can't move through the storm, and running missions on a tile that's in the storm is tougher than usual. I believe they spawn specialized enemies in the actual storm front there, so it can present some interesting strategic decisions, and you simply can't move. So if moving is a necessity, maybe because you're being chased down by a giant, well, that is, you better plan around the fact that you're going to be disabled for a turn or two whilst the storm is passing overhead. And speaking about Abieska, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly, they also suggested that the dig rig would benefit the most from better motors and a very ammo-efficient weapon, and that is a very good point. We will definitely have a look into that, as it will allow us to swap out the ammo AUX modules it's currently using for more evasion. Okay, I'll definitely bear that in mind, and I think there was one other comment that I had. Ikalol, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly as well, cautioned against the missile launcher. That is the missile launcher, not the rocket launcher. As, in their own words, it's hilariously effective at lowering the HP of all of your pilots. Duly noted. I am absolutely going to still field it, but I will bear that in mind. Alright, with that all said and done, it is time at last for us to pass the day that we held off on passing at the end of the last episode. We have set up strategic mood, we have popped people into the hospital and training grounds. Okay, time to pass the day. And we get 2 new motors to show for it, and some new research as well. Let's have a look at the stats overall. City energy going okay, 100% there. Food supply going okay, 100% there. Consumer goods, sadly, a little bit low on that one, but it's up to 90% now, which is actually wonderful, and it was pointed out in the comments. I'm terribly sorry I don't have your name to hand right now, but I remember reading through it. They drew attention to the fact that our life support systems are barely holding on. But, you know, we've got like, we're maxing out our consumer goods. So, you know, while people are slowly suffocating and can't drink, they've at least got 4K TVs and computers to play around on to distract themselves. Maybe playing a game of Mech engineering as we speak. And while that does sound stupid, do you think that wouldn't actually be the way it would play out in real world? Let's be honest now. People are very fond of their bread and circuses. As the benevolent AI overlord that I am, I no doubt gave them the vote, and they 100% would have been voting for bread and circuses. You know it's true, I know it's true, there's no point in us pretending that we don't think the world works that way. It absolutely does. Nevertheless, that is something to consider. Right, so we've got components coming up tomorrow, as well as 2 new techs, the cabin and I believe rockets as well. Looking forward for that one. But first on the agenda is to upgrade the city a little bit more. Now, let's have a quick gander at what we have available to us. I mean, I could go for storage. We've finished upgrading hydroponics, so we're probably going to sit on that one. Food supply is now up at 30%, which is actually quite amazing. We could go for life systems. At this point, it might not be a terrible time to start thinking about upgrading the upper factory, but there is one more that is a little bit higher of a priority for me, and that is the eastern factory to get the armor. We are starting to run out of armor plates, and we've been running out of armor plates for a little while. Now, of course, improving the upper factory that would shave off 2 days on producing them would be great, or we could just make producing them 4 times as efficient and just tank the 2 extra days whilst we're making a couple. And I think that one's the better one to go for. Also, this is going to help with more bread and circuses. Fantastic, I approve. Let's go ahead and do that run right now. Now, if we have a look at production, it should say that we will produce 10 at a time. Yeah, we'll produce 10 at a time. So 2 more levels, so 2 more days, and we will be producing the maximum amount of armor plates every time we make armor, and I think that will be absolutely wonderful there. Okay, so that's the city upgrade, and now we need to have a look at the mission screen and see where things are sitting. We have got... Can we not hit these? Sadly, I might need to do a mission nearby. We might actually be able to run a mission over here. Now, that would be a very interesting one indeed. But let's have a look at the lay of the land. Ares, we didn't have the best of time. Oh my god, okay, that's even worse. That's also pretty bad. Wow. We have not got very good options, I must say. Not the best. We are actually quite shy of places we can go. We can either fight Ares and Operarius in the water, or fight them in the desert. You know which one I'm going to go for. Of the options that we have available, it'll be this one. But none of these were very nice options, I must say. But we're going to be playing in a rather hot environment, so maybe we now need to do a bit more of an extensive overhaul on our mechs. I think all of them are going to need heat sinks equipped. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and move all of the mechs back into the hangar bay. In addition to that, we almost certainly have a new item to play with. Yes, we do. I believe this is the high-speed laser. Let's check out you, shall we? Low-power impulse rapid-firing laser weapon. Damage and firing speed depend on energy consumption. Once again, much the same as the oh, wow, that's not very accurate at all. But look at the firing speed on this, though. My good lord. Damage is way lower, though. Let's have a look at what we could do with the fire mod on this, because that's going to be an easy comparison. The speed on this, though, but how much energy does this require? How much heat does this generate when firing? A rapid-fire weapon like this? Oh, it's actually quite weighty as well. It's a very weighty weapon, all things considered. We can get it as high as 33 damage with most things invested in it. And then the rest invested in accuracy, still not even that accurate at this range. But 31, but look at the difference in energy draw. That's only 15. I think the other is 40, something like that. Let's actually peel that off the Firestorm and see these two weapons side by side, shall we? Yeah, this is pulling 40, but it only weighs 18. That is a humongous difference. I wonder if they're more or less similar range. I mean, this is doing 76 damage with fire. Okay, that's actually pretty solid, all things considered. But if we have a look then at the other one, just a little bit beyond midway, let's see if it's similar. I think, it probably is almost exactly the same. So, if nothing else, we're going to want to pull this all the way down to about there. That will have to sit there. That's its maximum engagement range for us for now. Now, the weight is a bit of an issue, but that being said, our mechs currently have fairly, or at least the plate has quite a lot of room for that. The damage being half for less than half energy, that isn't the worst thing. But we could see a couple of other things. Is there even anything to do with a shard on a laser? Do lasers have shards whatsoever? No, and they're not penetrating through at all. If we go for critical, oh wow, that's very 62 damage. We're now approaching the same sort of damage as the larger weapon there. So 62 damage there with a critical upgrade, and that doesn't pull any more energy for it. We could have a look at the accelerator. This will pull more energy. So that's now double the energy output, but hasn't really increased the damage as much as the critical mod does. So we're probably not going to be going with that one. For the sake of testing, let me just drop the damage output and just increase the accuracy, just so we can get a good idea. So the potential damage is about 1,000 there with rocket propel. Actually, let me just take the mod off so I can see what the new base stats are. So 30, 24, 15. Okay. Let's go back to this. This gives me a little bit of extra power, but massive drain on energy. And we could achieve this by redlining it effectively. We could get the same sort of energy. So if we had critical on this and redlining, it would probably be even better, I would imagine. I don't think the rocket propelled really applies to a laser. That does, though. We can make a laser shotgun. Okay. Damage potential is quite nice. It's around about the same sort of space as... Yeah, this is... It's hovering, but I don't mind that one at all. And we could put even more damage into it, because we probably wouldn't care as much about accuracy at that point. Okay, that is a very widespread considering, so we care a little bit about accuracy, but still, not a bad overall weapon there. That is definitely a choice. We can have the slow. Let's have a look at how that would affect this. Oh yeah, it's completely shut it down. This is probably, in my opinion, better than the ballistic, the slow chain gun. 27 damage is quite nice, and it is peeling armor off. We could have a look at a slow chain gun for comparison's sake. If we were to switch the mod out to slow, and we would then want to pop a good bit of investment into just overall damage. I think we took it down just to the point that it was 6 and put the rest into accuracy. I mean, it's certainly holding it in place, but look at the armor damage. Potential damage is about 400, the armor damage is 0.2. Whereas this, potential damage is higher. It's still climbing up to about 700 to 800. So, well, no, maybe about, about 650. But it's doing just straight up 6 armor. It's stripping 6 armor off. So over time, this would be a completely unarmored opponent. And at that point, you'd be doing your full damage to the opponent underneath. Fire, if we pop that in. The potential damage is a bit higher. The armor strip is a bit better, but obviously we're not slowing it down. Shard, I can't imagine that Shard is really doing anything for us. No, I really don't believe so. But Critical definitely does. Critical really does increase that damage output. Puts this on par with the high-powered laser. Might not be a bad one. The only thing that I would say about this is that the chain gun has the added benefit against Operarians of the bullets penetrating, so it could potentially slow multiple enemies, whereas this really is only going to slow the thing in front of it if I set it up as a slow weapon, but I'm kind of tempted to. I'm not going to lie. It's either that or the shotgun effect. We could make this a new weapon for a potential second dig rig, and have the shotgun effect as its defense, as that would, for all intents and purposes, achieve the goal of setting up the dig rig with a more ammo efficient weapon. I quite like that idea, actually. Alright, so dig rig, where are you? You're getting an upgrade. Now we're going to need some more power on you, and I only just gave you extra an energy shield, didn't I? Are we going to say goodbye to the energy shield on the dig rig? I mean, the dig rig is currently a defensive mech, so maybe we should have the energy shield. I think, regardless, though, we are going to set up a new reactor for you, and it is going to be a... Oh, we're not easily going to be able to make a high-powered reactor, actually. Shame on that one. But alright, we can't make you a high-powered reactor. I simply don't have the parts. We only had one set of parts for that, but I can give you internal resistance. Then we can give you a bit of external resistance using heat sinks, and the rest can then be set up for evasion and stability reset. So there you go. This is giving us 30 energy output. That being said, maybe we will find that the old dig rigs engine would actually be okay at a volcano once it, managed to build up properly to it. But either way, let's remove the ammo mods, remove that weapon, and give the dig rig a shotgun rapid laser. Now that's actually not a huge power draw. Not too bad at all. Let's pop you in. This is the internal resistance. If we have a look over here, we'll see that the heat from reload is 7.71. Heat from shot is 0.05. That's not going to be a problem for us right now. Do we have some better motors for you? We do, of course, have quite a lot of better motors for you. So let's go ahead and give all of these. There we go. Perfect. Dig rig is going to be nice and chunky at this point. We'll get... Oops, sorry, that was the motor there. I wanted to pop in the evasion modules and then maybe 2 heat sinks, and we'll see what we can do. Maximum outside temperature is now 223. Okay, that's not ideal, to be fair, but it will have to do for now. I think this should be a good enough setup. We definitely can't afford to have the shield unless I sacrifice something for a battery module, and even then would be difficult. But what we can do with this is absolutely redline this weapon. There we go. So at this point, heat from shot is 0.10, but our damage output is 43. Now, one thing you might be thinking is like, well, we don't really know the stats of this weapon because we've just redlined it here. You can actually do that in the setup over here. You pull this out, and you can redline or undervolt. Well, you can go much beyond the normal level. So this is regular 1 redline, 2 redline, 3 redline. We can now see that it's firing a lot more frequently. It's doing damage equivalent to what it would have had because of the multiple shots from the critical upgrade. What would that be? Let's have a look at how that would work. Oh, okay, that's actually very, very, very... It's stripping up to 20 armor a shot. Or rather over a couple of seconds. But still, I like the shotgun mod for this one. There we go. We're going to have that set up on the dig rig. You're welcome. You've had a nice new upgrade there. And if we can get a second one of these, I definitely think that this would be the way we would set up a second dig rig. Now, as for your weight, we've got a lot of armor that we can give you, and for the dig rig, that makes a lot of sense. Do we have enough armor plates to be able to fit on a lot? No, not really. Well, that being said then, let's go for this. Since I can't afford 2 of these, we really do need more armor. I can afford to pop the heaviest bulk armor and the heaviest strike fix. That still gives us a passive armor of 21. All things said and done, that's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with this. Alright, let's have a look at the dig rig at volcanoes. Well, let's just pop it to the temperature that we're going to be fighting in. If we have a look, this temperature is 149. Now, I'm only going to be doing this for the dig rig. Don't worry, we're not going to be tweaking every single mech in the same way. I'll cut to the end once I've done the tuning for them all, but understand that this is effectively what I'm going to be doing. We're going to be bringing it up to about the temperature that we're going to be fighting at. I want to see where the engine naturally stops at, but I will continue to fire and just see how fast we can push it, because I should imagine that given the max outside temperature of 223 means that we are going to stop overloading it eventually. It's just where that overloading, where it balances out. And if we can strip off 1 extra heatsink, wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind getting an extra evasion module for the added stability if nothing else. Looks like we are balancing around about the 70% mark. It's teetering around there. I don't think this would currently go above 75% of the reactor. So with that in mind, and because it can't reload, we don't need to worry about that. Let's see how it would do if instead I brought it all the way up to... the max temp is now 164 outside. So let's say the temperature is 151, and that's going to be even better. And now we see where this balance is at. If this balance is below like 90%, then I'm completely happy with it. But as long as it balances somewhere within like 95, it's still fieldable for me. I wouldn't want it to be balancing more than 95%. That feels like you're pushing your luck a little bit. But it looks like we could have this reactor up around the 95% mark. I don't think the pilot's going to be super happy about this one, but you know, it's the way it is. Look, okay, you're a soldier, all right? And sometimes we have to fight in disadvantageous conditions, but here we are. It's just creeping over the 95% mark, though. I don't think it's going to go much further than this, but still, that is maybe a little bit too high. Let's err on the side of caution. I'll strip off the extra stability. I know that's the whole dig rig's job, but let's go with 2 heat sinks. I feel a little bit more comfortable about that one. And at this point, the last thing for us to do, actually... ooh, I hadn't redlined. Ooh, I almost missed that. If you spotted that, well done. This is now pulling 30 energy. Now I need to do that test again, because we're going to be pulling twice as much energy per shot. Now, hopefully we will get up nice and high fairly quickly. We will see how that goes. Oh. There we go. Let's make sure I'm actually testing under the correct environment. In fact, let's push the temperature all the way up to about the 70-ish mark, and then pull it back down to where we want it to be. There we go. So it's 77 with 2 heat sinks. Yeah, I think we would probably be pushing this if I only had 1 heatsink with a triple-lined rapid fire laser. But this is still pretty solid. That is a... We will never have to stop to reload with this weapon. You're always going to be fairly dangerous in close combat against anything that isn't resistant to energy weapons, but also you're going to be able to drill. Okay, I'm fairly happy with the dig rig's new setup, and I think we're probably going to be keeping that. Let me just check one more thing. If operaries are... Oh. You can't have everything, okay? Maybe I should be rolling this as a fire weapon. Well, we're going to see how it goes. But if it's not one thing, it's the other. Damn it all. Maybe this isn't the best weapon for the dig rig, given that. But still, I would like to see, because this is a lot of damage, it's well above the Operarius's health level. So we are probably still going to be able to punch through and one-shot Operarius. And it's not like this weapon has any pass-through. It doesn't have penetration. So it's not like we're having to weigh up against that. As long as it hits a thing and kills a thing with 5 shots fairly frequently, we'll probably be okay. I can only imagine that this will work out, but that's what we're going to be setting up with. Now, as for the others, I'm going to equip all of the other mechs with some extra heat sinks, and I will bring you back when we're ready to run the mission. Okay, welcome back. I have gone through all of the mechs, and I have updated their heat sinks. For some of them, that also meant having to update the amount of weight they could carry, because the heat sinks actually add 3 weight. They're quite a heavy component, so quite expensive in that regard. But at this point, I have tested out every model, and they can all tolerate the temperatures. I tried to dial the heat sinks back as much as I could, and I even did this for the Firestorm, actually. So the Firestorm doesn't have quite as ridiculous of a heat tolerance as it used to. But what I've found, roughly speaking, is you're going to want about the temperature of the area you're going to go to, at least for the mechs that have reloads, and about 40-50% more than that, and then you're covered. If you can hit the kind of 150% of the temperature of the area you're going to deploy in, then you're probably okay. Or at least that's been the case for a single weapon, single kinetic weapon unit, with the rest put into ammo modules. So that keeps the reload time down. The Shepherd, however, that one's runs a little hotter than the others, because I've had to take out one of the other modules in order to fit on a metal grid. And that does mean that it runs a little bit hot, especially because it's actually running 2 ballistic weapons. So it's a little bit further up, but it's still well within my comfortable range. Now, there is one final thing we need to do, and that is checking in on the location, because there is one last thing that I haven't covered, and this is going to start becoming more of a concern. We have, as yet, not done any water missions, and I would have covered this at that point, because they have currents which push you around. But this little icon at the bottom here, that is a wind icon. If you have a look at the map right there, the top one there, the flame, that is the fire weather effect, adds a moving sunbeam to zones. We're actually going to have both of these here. And the bottom one is a wind weather effect, adds moving tornadoes. Tornadoes are going to punt you around quite badly, and I believe in general means that there's just kind of bursts of wind that will frequently move across the map. So we need to be aware of those, and there is one thing that we're going to be able to do to counter that. Now, the dig rig is actually in a fairly good position, because the dig rig is a speedy boy, the fastest of all of our mechs, and has enormous stability regeneration compared to all of the other mechs. So they're probably going to be the least affected by this, but they're still going to be affected. They have got 20 overall resistance against wind, but Mr. Pink over down here only has 18. I believe Firestorm has quite a lot as well, 42. So Firestorm I don't expect to be moved around very much by the wind, because Firestorm is just that much more stable. It's a much heavier mech, it tromps around, and it really can dig its feet in. But we want to try and improve this for our other mechs as well before we deploy them. Poor Shellcracker over there, still left out. I'm so sorry, Shellcracker. Now, as far as our weapon systems go, I actually spent time again kind of tweaking this a little bit more, so we have got a little bit more reload capacity, but sadly I'm about to take that away. We could give everyone an evasion module, and that might be okay. It would help us with stability, but wouldn't really help us with resisting impact. For that, we've got the armor module down here. This adds 1 additional weight, but it also adds 1 passive armor, which is quite nice, but 15 impact resistance. So we are absolutely going to pop that on there. Now, that means that our Firestorm here is going to be very very chonky. I don't think it's going to be really affected very much at all by just general gusts of wind. I don't think it's really going to be able to handle a tornado. I wouldn't want to see it dance with that. But the general gusts of wind, it's probably going to be quite resistant to now. Now, that sadly does mean that we're going to reload a little bit slower still, but the Firestorm is the one that has the best outside max temp, so it should be able to handle that one quite nicely. And at this point, we can now field the Firestorm. I don't think there's anything else we need to do. All the weapons are properly wired. One thing always to check, if you move a reactor around to tweak its settings, or you move a weapon around to look at its settings, it will undo the wiring, so always be sure that you've popped that back on. But there we go, we will sign off on you. Actually, we've got a little bit of armor spare, so let's go ahead and make sure that we've got plenty of extra coating there. 19 layers of ablative armor, that will do quite nicely indeed. But other than that, let's go ahead and sign off on your design. Dig Rig, let's put you in here now. Now, Dig Rig, I mean, whilst you are better than all of the other mining mechs, there is still room for improvement. Now, I am saying goodbye to some stability regen, and there is an argument to be made there. But since we're specifically going somewhere where our mechs are going to be thrown around, I think this is a greater importance to us for this mission at the very least. We're still going to be the most stable and the fastest mech by far with the Dig Rig, but now it'll also be able to resist being pushed around a little bit more. And my goodness, you've got a lot of room still for your... oh, I'm so sorry, that is going to sound so bad. I will try and edit that out perhaps, but there we go. So sound design, sometimes it'll sound nice if it's just once or twice or 5 times even, but when you're just holding the button down, oh, sometimes the sound design, I think it needs like a second or even a third pass just to make sure that the use is going to be okay. Now, why is our ammo so all over the place with the Dig Rig? Change the available ammo ratio? We don't use ammo on the Dig Rig. We're probably fine in that case. And also, that is why the Dig Rig is, out of all of them, probably the easiest one to balance. I just needed to find the settling point of the Dig Rig's temperature when its gun was firing, by just putting it at volcano temperatures and then pulling it down to where we were going to be, and then just seeing where that settled. With the others, you also need to see where it's going, like where it can settle and reload and get back to. And it's a little bit more of an involved process. But there we go, Dig Rig. It's, oh god, that's a lot of points we're investing in the Dig Rig. Oh, that is a bit of a rough one. Let's check out the Shepherd next. How much are you going to cost? 24. That's acceptable, Shepherd. That is acceptable. But now you're taking 8.4 seconds to reload. I'm a little bit concerned about you. Not going to lie. We might need to do a quick test, because now it's going to take 9 seconds to reload the Shepherd. Now, thankfully, the Shepherd reloads very infrequently. But I'm going to quickly test this one. I'll bring you back for the results. Okay, the Shepherd should be fine. This is the second pass, and while it's probably easy enough to work it out once you're familiar with the game, I do 2 passes with the reloads just to make sure it can get back below the original temperature it got to. It got up to 85% last time as well, and it got down to about the same place with constant fire. Now, we can assume that the Shepherd isn't going to be constantly firing, but even if it were, in the worst case scenario, where they never take their finger off the trigger, it will cool down enough to be able to do a full reload without getting hotter with every successive reload. So that should be fine for the Shepherd. There we go. We can sign off on you with a little bit of extra resistance. Now, as for your armor, let's go ahead and pump up the coating here as well. May as well. We haven't actually seen an enemy that can attack using missiles, but I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, as the saying goes. Now, next up is the Marshmallow. How are we doing down here? You will be absolutely fine, because we're really not changing that much, and I know from having looked at the Shepherd that this configuration will be okay. Can I afford any extra coating? I cannot. We are right on the edge. There we go. Mr. Pink, likewise, we will be able to afford a little bit extra on you. In fact, Mr. Pink didn't need to, we'll still have 3 reloads, and given the max outside temp, the same weapon. Again, a reload is a reload. You're only looking at the time it takes to reload. It seems to add the same amount, at least as far as I'm aware, the same amount of heat based on the reload. Now, you can, as I said, just go off the stats if you want to. I kind of like I don't know, but I like actually going through the testing, and since I can just cut out the time it takes, I don't feel there's anything lost there. But you could just look at how much heat is going to be added from a reload. I don't know if this is per second. I suspect it's per second, so you could then calculate out the maximum amount of heat that's going to be added in, and then do the math as you will. Or you can just brute force it, as I've been doing. Right, we are definitely going to be able to add some more coating for you as well. Let's take it right up to the edge. There we go. Squeeze out a couple of cheeky extra layers. Oh, we are below the necessary amount of peeps. That is rather unfortunate. I will set this up though for both, but we are not going to be having these out with us, so it's going to be a little bit of a underpowered lance, I believe. Mr. Pink, Mr. Brown, and Shellcracker are all going to have to wait in the wings. But oh well, the lance that we got, no, actually we'll have exactly 4. Okay, well this isn't terrible. We know we can deal with Ares with a regular lance, and we've actually got a more capable lance this time, since we've got 2 energy weapons in the group. I think this one should do all right. Right then, let's go ahead and pull our pilots off. Let's make sure everyone is where they need to be, and I see very little reason not to have Phoenix Talia being in command. But actually no. I'm going to favor having the extra speed for this mission in particular, because we might need to recover our position every time we get blown around a little bit. So, Mini Murgle, you're in the Shepherd. Phoenix, you are going to be in the Firestorm. Want you to get comfortable with your mech there. Who else are we going to bring along? It's going to be between Isham and Encrypt, and I would say that reaction time on Isham is going to be the deciding factor there. Yes, it is indeed. So you're going to be grabbing the dig rig, and who is going to have the marshmallow? Well, let's see. Who's got the best relationship with you? Let's have a quick look down here. It is, of course, Soundsphere. You're going to be in the marshmallow for this particular run. Alright then, the 4 of you are going to have 8 nests to clear and 3 Brucas to clear as well, so that one shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's bring this up now. Shepherd, you can absolutely focus on the ovums, but I would like Firestorm to focus on the Ares, and I would actually like Digrig to focus on the Ares as well. Now, I'm a little bit concerned about that, because Digrig is probably going to be swarmed by Operarius more. But that being said, you've got a better weapon for taking on the Ares, and I'm not going to miss out on that lesson. Also, we're not going to focus the Brucas. We're just going to take shots at them when we get the chance. I might have to manage that a little bit more with direct fire, but this should be okay. All right. Well, wish us luck. Okay. First and foremost, WASD camera full screen. Do we need a different camera mode? Let's cycle through them. Sure, we'll get a little bit of extra color on the screen, shall we? Alright, lots of nests down here. That should be okay. 3 nests up there, and the Brucas kind of clustered. Okay, I'm happy to make our way over in this direction, take out these nests as a group, and then take on this one, and then we can deal with the Brucas last. Honestly, they're the least important thing. Ah, there's the wind. Ooh, didn't move as much. Really didn't move as much. I am very happy with that, actually. Alright, I would like you to move your way up and around, and then we'll take on those nests. Let's have a watch of how this goes down. Let's make sure that you're actually targeting correctly. You are, for the most part. There we go. Ooh, it looks... Ooh, I hadn't considered that, but the bugs are being affected by the wind as well. I don't know why I assumed they wouldn't be, but I was. But okay, I'm very okay with the idea of them also being pulled back. Now, the mechs are struggling a bit. Have we got any Ares on the field that I need to be aware of? Oh, does that kill the Brucas? I wonder. Does that kill the insects if the wind kills the insects? Sorry, affects the insects as well. Then there is a possibility that the lasers, the sun will affect the insects as well. That would actually be quite nice. Ooh, that being blown into... I just realized that might actually be very nasty if we end up with missile mech. Oh, incoming Ares, 2 of them actually. Take it down. Focus that Ares, please. Thank you. Thank you. The other one is just down there, Digrig. Okay, don't worry too much. Oh, Digrig is being chased, I think. Oh, goodness. Being thrown all over the place, it looks like. Let's have a quick gander. How are you doing? Who's taking the damage? Oh. No one. But I think Isham is panicking. Isham is getting spooked. Yeah, Isham is definitely getting spooked. Okay, there is an Ares down there, I think. I can see it. Let's just take them out. There we go. Clear the nests. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins. Oh, artillery. Can they drop in the Ares as well? It's possible. Let's focus on them if we have to. There we go. They're cleared. That flame just deleted an entire assault. That was glorious. Tornado is moving down there along the Brucus. Not going to worry about that too much then. Let's head up and take on the Ovum instead. That fire is fantastic though. I absolutely love it. Ares there got pushed back, but not by a huge amount. Let's focus fire. Well done. Take out the nest if we can. Okay, nest removed. That's one other problem taken out. We've got 3 nests over there, and I would kind of like our group to stick to the top if they can. Move as far away from the Brucus, move as far away from the tornado and the sun laser as it's possible. Their stability is pretty amazing. Dig Rig is recovering the fastest whenever getting pushed around, and that doesn't surprise me at all. Look at their stability tanking, though. They are resisting, but that little bit of extra stability regeneration on the Dig Rig means that they are doing a much better job of resisting. We're going to get blown into that, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Move back if you can. Oh, the slow effect. Okay, cancel that. Get back in there. Slow them down. Perfect. Keep it up. Do as much damage. Oh, you're getting pushed into it. That is unfortunate. That is super unfortunate. Pull back. Pull right back. There we go. There. Ooh, taking damage. Keep pulling back. Down there if you can. There we go. We seem to be out of the range now, but we took a lot of damage on the marshmallow there and the firestorm. If we'd been able to, it would have made more sense if I just ducked behind the rock. That was silly of me. I should have taken that into consideration and done that. But oh well, it is a learning experience. For now, let's move up and around so that we've got plenty of cover. Also, make sure you're moving in pause mode so you have better chance. You may have noticed a little line drawn between the mechs there. I wish I'd actually had an opportunity to showcase that. We'll keep an eye out for it, but there we are. They are pulling each other. They've hooked up a tow line between them. The weakest mechs with the lowest stability who are being slowed down are being towed by mechs who have got more stability and higher speed. You may have seen that here and there on like uneven terrain before, but that is absolutely something that the mech pilots will do. They'll assess the situation, and if one of them has enough stability to support it, they'll simply tow the other one along with them and get them back on course a little bit faster. I absolutely love that mechanic. Right, we need to continue moving along in this path. If you could, please and thank you. Watch out, that Ares is making a charge. Did it die? Do they die when they go off camera? Oh, that would be hilarious. Okay, I'd be A-okay with that being the case. Now, I could, of course, just use my my artillery to deal with these nests, but I don't think we're going to. What is that?
Slow down.
Did we just shoot at that? Okay, move around a little bit more. There we go, there we go. Keep it up. We want to go and take care of the Brucus at this point, so head down there as fast as you can. But did they shoot at that? I swear I saw a bullet just curving around it. We should be able to finish off that Brucus. Now get down here as quickly as you can. We got a tow line? Yeah, we do. Good. Need to get those lasers within range, and we'll quickly melt the Brucus's armor. There we are, very nicely done. Watch out about the laser. Also watch out about the turrets as well, if you can. Right, there we go. Focus on this one. Oh, dear me. Right, you need to not be there. You need to take a different route, thank you. A sun is following us.
Position.
Hate it. Hate that for us right now. It's like real life. Never get away from the bloody thing. Go on, follow up. The worst thing about not doing well in the sun is that your body still craves it. You're caught in this horrible place where you want it to be nice to you. You love the sun, and the sun really hates you. It's like an abusive relationship.
New position.
Let's get down this way if we can. That's going to be safer from the tornado, I think. There we go. Let's move on. Oh, goodness. Trying to get past this this wind is a real chore. But we should be able to get round here in the moment. Are we still we're still targeting the turret over there. Please don't get blown into the tornado. I don't even want to know how much damage that's going to do to you. Just try and get up here as quickly as you can. There we go. And now I'm going to give you the order to go and complete the order. Is that? Is it? It's actually heading straight to where I need to be. Bloody son! You know, this is why there are death cults who just want to snuff out the bloody thing.
Continue mission.
There we go. Right, we managed to get a reasonable return on the deployment, and although we did take a bunch of damage at one point, I'm going to say that that was largely the wind that caused that, so could have planned around it, and like I said, I could have ducked behind the rock, should have been more spatially aware of that one, but still, minimum damage considering we were fighting in a fairly rough location. I'm going to say, Minimirkle, you get a medal for leading the lance through that one. Everyone gets it because that's the first time we've actually dealt with that kind of difficulty there. Everyone gets a little medal. There you go. Right. Let's have a quick look. Average reactor temperature was very good. Here, average reactor temperature is very good again. 0.7 there on the dig rig, and 0.56 on the marshmallow. Actually, really solid for the whole group. Okay, let's continue. Now, unfortunately, we can't reach this, but we can... No, we can't reach the city either, I don't think, if we have a look at that. Oh, no, we can. We can go for the city. That is now an option for bloody Ares again. Ooh, that city doesn't look like it fared too well during the bombardment there, but alright. We are going to need to pay out a fair old whack, but 356, I think we'll just do that on quick repair. Right, let's go ahead and set all of our pilots up to get their training and hospital. Does anyone need vitality? Yes, actually, sounds fair. Your vitality is 45. You took a bit of damage there, and that knocked your vitality down. Attacks against the mech, whilst even if they don't cause like critical damage to the mech, they may still hurt the occupants. So always check vitality after any kind of damage is being sustained by the mechs. Everyone else is in a good place with it though. So we will now check out stress resistance, and actually everyone is pretty good at there as well. But I'll have Isham in for some hospital time. There you go. Now as for CBS, 51. As for reactions, yeah, very bad on Clone 1 there. There you go, Clone 1. You can have a bit of time in training. Now that will, you may notice, harm their vitality and stress resistance, but it does also give them experience, which is kind of nice when you think about it. Okay, next up. There, I had to just pull up my checklist. Now we are on to research and production. So we've got a bunch of scientists back. We've got a couple of things about to be done. We are currently researching atomics. That's going to take us 7 days. The cabin down here is only going to take us 1 day. Ooh. I've got 30 engineers. I'm going to hold off. Just in case this is drones, I want to know what it is, and hold on to the scientists that I have in case I need them to be able to research it. Okay, that seems reasonable to me. As for production, we've got 30 engineers. There's not a lot we can do with 30 engineers, sadly. How much does it cost to make one of these? 50. Well, not great. In terms of the motors, though, that only takes 20 engineers, so I am going to go ahead and we are going to order a motor to be ready in 3 days. That seems like a reasonable investment to me. Okay, that is everything done that we need done. So the last thing now is strategic moves. So we're going to trundle along in this direction here. There we go, and get closer to these 2 points. I'm very concerned. I've not been on this mission. I have no idea what it's going to be like. These points of interest. Can I even? No, I can't see it. We'll be able to see the map on the next turn, so that's going to be a bit of an interesting one. But that is all we need to do, and it's time to pass the day. Okay, we've got a delivery of components. We have also finished research on two things. I actually missed the fact that we were going to be researching the missile systems. Okay, so let's have a look at energy. We're doing okay. Food supply was a little bit less than we needed. Consumer goods, doing well. Components, we actually lost components, but we gained overall on all of the minerals, so that's okay. We only healed 15 people yesterday, which is actually not great. Life systems are going down. Overall efficiency dropped from yesterday, so we could definitely be improving things, I must say. Okay, well, that's all we've got there. Let's go ahead and check in on the upgrade. Now for this one, of course, we're going to be immediately investing in the Eastern Factory once again. Let's get that going. And only one more improvement there needed to get that one fully maxed out. Now, let's have a look at these missions then, shall we? Can I see the map? Okay, I mean, if the map didn't tell me that something very interesting is going to happen there, the image certainly does. Are we going to maybe be able to get some sort of artillery in placement that we're going to be able to call down? Because we are building up our artillery shots. I certainly wouldn't mind building them up a little bit faster. That one isn't actually a bad mission to go on right now. However, I'm not thinking that we're going to go there. Oh, that one's so much better. Okay, so no Ares. I am thrilled not to be dealing with Ares in close quarters. All right, we are going to go for the city because it's obviously the highest priority for us. Have we got enough room there? There are Ares there. What's the temperature down? Only 29. It's only 32 there. We could probably rejig all of our mechs then if we're not going to be dealing with anything pushing us around. There is a sunspot there. That's not too terrible. But there's nothing going on there. Maybe we don't need that armor piece and we can swap that out for something else. We've got 278 engineers to play with, so let's go ahead and start tuning the mechs. Also, we've got a new weapon that I wouldn't mind checking out. So, over to engineering. Now, first and foremost, Mr. Pink and Mr. Brown are going to need the most engineers, and I would like to get them back out and about. But let's just see what would be involved in taking this off and replacing it with something else. We don't really need that impact resistance. So if we were to do this, pop that on, only 8 engineers, and I am absolutely okay with that. We can, in fact, then also increase the... we're almost up to the maximum of coating on the armor. That is perfect. All right, well... we don't need these heat sinks either, thinking about it, because the temperature is only 32. We could take that off as well. That gives us more than enough. Could we go ahead and pop that in? Puts it up to 16. Okay. But this is going to give us enormous... well, we're almost up to 1.2 on speed. That's fantastic. And evasion is going to be way, way up for us. I think I prefer that. Also, we can max out the coating, and for some reason that matters to me. But alright, I'm happy with this. We can go ahead and deploy. We'll get you out there. We're not going to need to do any testing on this one. As for Mr. Pink and Mr. Brown, let's have a look at the new weapons that we unlocked, though. Now, we also got a new cabin, thinking about it. Ah, damn it. Let me see that new cabin, shall we? We got a 10-15, and ooh, we've got 2 of them. We've got a 30-30 and a 30 weight, 30 control, 20 safety. I mean, okay, that's triple the weight. It's double the control, double the safety. Or for 20 weight, so double the weight, we would increase control only by a small amount, but we would massively increase safety. You know what? I'm bringing Dig Rig back for that one. This is absolutely a Dig Rig cabin, and not even a contest on that one. Dig Rig is by far the most likely to be in danger. Oh, man. I only just got up to 100% coverage, and I'm going to have to peel it back down. But you know what? That's fine. There we go. Another 8 as well. Probably would have been able to do without that if I'd noticed that in time. Sadly, I did not, but that's okay. There we go. The Dig Rig is now very, very well set up, I would say. As for... of the Firestorm and the Shepherd, I'm going to say the Shepherd is the most likely to be in trouble. But, oh, the Firestorm is by far and away the one that's going to be able to handle the weight the best. So, I'm not even sure that we really want this, but... Alright, we're going to pop it in there, and I'm going to have to make some sacrifices to elder gods in order to fit this on. And there we go. I have managed to sneak in a little stability module there. I'm probably not going to put that on everything, but it felt like the plate was suffering with speed a little bit more than the other mechs, so being able to recover any stability loss is a little bit more important to me. But we ended up having to swap in one of the motors from the Shepherd in order to get this working. So as a consequence, we've got one heatsink, because we really don't need a lot of outside temp for this particular mission, one evasion module, and then 4 reload modules. As for the Mr. Brown and Mr. Pink, exactly the same loadout there. 5 reload modules, 1 heatsink. They've already got 1 extra motor, so they're pretty solid. And I actually improved their armor profile, which I'd realized I hadn't properly done. Marshmallow over here, again, Marshmallow actually had a very big armor profile update. Now, Marshmallow's having to run with a metal grid to keep the weight somewhere realistic. It is quite slow though, and that is going to be a problem. Likewise, Shepherd over here is running with a metal plate as well, and this is the new armor profile that the Shepherd has. But overall, I think this should be good. So let's get these mechs out there. It's a bit of a costly update. I'm starting to appreciate the need for us to get a lot more engineers and to have them available at all times. There we go. Let's just get all of these mechs out there. That leaves us with only 94 engineers spare. It's not as many as I would like, but there we go. Right, now we could at this point field 2 spears, but we're not going to. So 2 underpowered lances. I think we're going to take everyone out here, because looking at the time, I've really only got time for 1 more mission. And I think we're going to struggle a little bit, because the other missions available to us involve Ares, and I'm not super enthused about having to deal with those right now. I still need a little bit more practice with that, I think. And especially because next mission, I want to take pretty much everyone I can. We might even outfit the Shellcracker onto this one, so that's probably going to be in the next episode, but we've definitely got enough time for 1 more. Right then, let's have a look at who is going to be doing what. Let's rejig this. Phoenix, you're not far off. You actually got another medal as well. Nice. Right. Mini Murgle, no disc. Oh, well, apparently Disco. Phoenix getting the Firestorm. Mini Murgle in the Shepherd. We are gonna pop, I think. Let's go with, well, actually, Encrypt. You're getting way further down now compared to Isham. Isham in the Dig Rig, then. We will, however, bring Encrypt out in the Marshmallow. And then, finally, I think we're going to bring Vanya Loswan and Russell in Mr. Pink and Mr. Brown. And I will get to painting them in time. Sounds like you're going to have to sit this one out. I am terribly sorry, but that's just the way it's going to be. And let's get this mission on the go. So, we are going to be dealing with enemies that are able to latch onto us and pull us in. The Operaris are resistant to energy weapons, which is a bit of a pain. You're resistant to thermal type weapons. That's not going to be a significant problem for me. And thanks for afar, releasing tentacles in the direction of the target, trying to entangle it and drag it to itself. Now, thinking about it, actually keeping the resistance for impact probably would have helped with them. I should have thought about that, but oh well, we've rejigged everything, and it took us a lot of engineers to do it, so we're going to stand with that one now. As for this, we no longer need to worry about Ares, so instead I'm going to have probably Mini Murgle, again, aiming for the Ovum, Firestorm aiming for the Brucus. I'm going to have Marshmallow aiming, well actually I think we're going to have Mr. Pink and Mr. Brown both aiming for the Flagellum. And then we can have Marshmallow and Dig Rig taking care of the Operaris. I think that should be a fairly good spread. Alright, let's take the entire group out and get some experience for our mechs. I forgot to look at how expensive this is going to be. I don't expect to make back the materials that we invested here, but if we did, that would be lovely. Right, let's get down there as quickly as you can. We're going to... Oh, did you already take it out? Oh my god, that laser. I guess it couldn't really get away, so it was just stuck there, eating all of that, the firepower. Okay, let's get down here and take up position there if we can. Move out as quickly as you're able. Might have to chase you down, unfortunately, but alright. Ooh, those Operaris got really close. It looks like Digrig just basically ignored them for a while. Right, we've activated the turret there. Could we get Digrig in there? No, I think we'll go that route later. Instead, I want Digrig to clear out a path through here for me. Just drill all the way through if you could. Thank you very much. There we go. Very nicely done. Keep up the laser shotgun, please and thank you. Well done. That's going to be fairly easy for us to get through now. We have got sunspots. I could... Oh, we've got... oh, who's it going for? Digrig could... Actually, the entire group focus fire on this. Remove it from existence, please and thank... Ah, we missed a spot. Okay, they are... Oh, no, they're going for the turret. That's what they're hitting. I was like, which mech is that? Oh, dear lord. Well, that right there is why you don't stand next to the mechs. Did we just take a face full of damage? No, thankfully, we were outside of the range. But that has actually worked to our favor, because it's removed the blockage that was preventing us from attacking that nest. In fact, I think it just straight up removed the nest. Okay, well, that one wasn't too terribly bad then. We have got the Brucus making their way through this area. We are going to want... only the Digrig to do a little bit of digging for us. So, Digrig, I'd like you to go up here, then down, then through and back up. And everyone else but Digrig, I would like you to move over here so that you're ready to defend Digrig when they're doing the last bit of their path. There we go. Let's just clear all of that up, please and thank you. There we go, all the way through. Thank you very much indeed. And now as a group, the whole lance can move forward. There we are. From this position, we aren't in a place where we're going to be able to engage here very easily, which does kind of suck, actually. We're also going to have a delivery of more enemies from over there. You know what? This is a good time for us to use the artillery fire. Let's try and remove that with artillery if we're able to. I don't know if it's going to be able to punch through that. No, it can't punch through the shield, unfortunately. That's a bit of a pain. But okay, we're going to have to push our way down then. So the whole lance should go there, and Digrig specifically should try and remove as much of that and return. Go, go, go. If we can do that before the Columbra turns back to face us, that would be ideal. Sadly, we missed that last little spot there. I think this is going to mean that we're within range for the Columbra to attack, so we're going to withdraw a little bit. Okay, with that done, we should honestly be able to just charge forward now. Once we're within position, we'll easily be able to handle this. And Shepard should prioritize taking out the ovum. There we go, and at this point the slowdown is going to take out the Columbra without any further difficulties for us. Right, let's get away from the sun, wherever it happens to be. Did the sun go away? No, it didn't. Sad. Okay, well, let's just take out the Brucus. Oh my god, that laser. It's a menace, but it's a beautiful menace. I'm very glad it's got on our side rather than the enemy's. That being said, there's nothing says the enemy can't have equally terrifying weapons. Alright. Now we need to carefully, in pause mode, navigate around the deadly laser that is the sun. Is this actually... No, it's moving away from our location. Good lord, Digrig. I need to make the other mechs as fast as Digrig, otherwise this is going to be a problem. There we go. Should be through this before the sun catches up with us. Very nice. Okay, let's have a quick look. Now, Digrig, how did you do? Average reactor temperature is fine. Temperature added by energy weapons, that's not a problem at all for us. Average distance to enemy, 103. Number of attack evasions, nice. Very nice. Starting to see those now. Okay, I'm very pleased to see that one. Everyone else did fine. Oh, Mr. Brown took a lot of damage. Did Mr. Brown, I think that I heard a bunch of damage happening. I didn't notice it, who it was, but I think it was when Mr. Brown got snared. I think that's when that damage was applied. Oof. Okay, 187, not actually a problem though. We'll go ahead and we'll just pay that one straight up. Let's get all of our pilots back into the base, get some R&R happening. Let's have a look at Vitality. Vitality is now fine, 53. That being said, Soundsphere, you're going to be in the hospital for a little bit more, I think, on that one. Stress. Let's have a look at you. Stress is okay. 74 there. I think we're going to put Russell in here rather than Clone 1. Yeah, I think Russell is going to be the more important one for now. Next up, CBS. Okay, Bicklow is now the lowest reaction-wise. Still Clone 1, so you're going to remain on training for the here and now. Okay, so research and indeed production. We've got 114 engineers and drone. Yep, Gary the Gammarid was right on the money there. Separate computer inside the mech to control the repair drone. Previously, drones were used to temporarily repair damage in space. Drones are slowly repairing durability of the mech with time, based on the amount of drones the pilot's CBS test. Oh, sorry, based on the amount of drones and the pilot's CBS test. Can't repair in melee. Duly noted. At this point, the next person that we have that I can give the drone skill to will definitely have the drone skill, but I think we can actually put this on all mechs anyway, and I don't see a lot of reason not to. Currently, we're not strapped for auxiliary slots, so we can probably make that work for us. But that only takes 35 staff. Oh my lord, I was expecting that to be expensive, and it was not. Okay, we could perhaps have a look at the Hollow. 4 guns, 1 arm, 4 guns, 1 armor, passive armor, 36 impact resistance, 90. Oh, this is an underwater one, 95 water resistance. A special underwater exploration mech adapted for combat. Now the problem with that, and the big problem with this, is I'm not fancying having to make an entire slew of new mechs just to get underwater missions. So I'm favoring finding a way to make all of our mechs decent underwater. We have completed the rocket launch blueprint. We didn't end up having to look at that weapon, but it wouldn't have been the right area for that anyway. Torpedoes using improved cavitational mechanics will restore missile homing underwater. Oh. Now that one may well be worth it. I was just saying that we want to go underwater a little bit more. The Tesla's experimental weapon. Blueprint was suggested by one of the scientists. The weapon creates a lightning bolt that clearly hits the target at medium range. Or energy shield booster. Amplified microwave emitter with a modified frequency of emitting will cause constant damage to the organics around the... We're at that point now where I'm kind of spoiled for choice on what I should pick, and I want everything. Everything... Oh, we don't have enough for 280s, that's a shame. Adapting the hull to move underwater will reduce the slowdown by 25%. Underwater turbines will also speed up the mech and add more oxygen. Or getting the ability to fire missiles underwater. Everything's a little bit expensive. Still a long way from recreating the technology of the production of nuclear reactors. In the meantime, we can improve some of the components of the first reactor. This might allow me to make more high-pressure ICEs, so I'm tempted by that, but I think the first one really does have to be the missiles. Let's get that going, because once we've cleared this city, we're probably not that many days before we're going to want to start going underwater. So let's get that one done sooner rather than later. Now, we've got a few spares now, so let's look around for something I can invest my scientists into. Is there actually anything? Why are you saying that there's something I can research? I've got 59 people on the science team that I don't see anything that can be researched for. Oh no, 59, of course, yeah. I've got 59. I'm looking at all of these things that only require 50. I don't have enough scientists. I can count. Well, an anti-missile system might be nice. Or we can go for Tesla's weapon. You know what? Sure, let's pick up Tesla's weapon. Let's get another energy weapon going. I see no problems with that at all. Right, as for production, time for us to consider. Now, we do have a big missile, but I think we're going to look at that in the next episode, I think. I would very much like some more motors, but I'm very tempted by just pop. Oh, they take 5 days though, so 3 days normally. Still, that's very tempting, exceedingly tempting. I'm going to order one. Sure, we're going to place one of those on order, and I'm also going to place a motor on order as well. Now, ooh, actually, no, we're going to take that back. Take that back. We're going to pop down some components. I'm leaving this one open for the time being. We'll see what we can do with it. But the final thing for us to do then is strategic movement. And unfortunately, as much as we have... Ah, oh, damn it. Okay, so we would need to go into the Badlands over there. Not the greatest thing for us. But, yeah, I mean, you know, let's do it. We're going to have to possibly eventually anyway in order to get this ping. But it would have been wonderful if it had been over here, because we could probably just get over there, grab all 3 and win the game without ever really having to deal with this. But okay, I think next episode we're going to be playing around down here. Now, this one can only have 1 within range. So we've got a potential 2 over here. We've got a 3 over here. I know that none of these can have anything. Same with this one. None of them there. So, there's a lot of potential over here, and we're starting to see some big nest clumps happening. We know that that's a 2 there. We can't... I don't think we can isolate anything from what we know. We're going to have to complete some more missions deeper and find something. And once we have eliminated some of these tiles, because if we do a mission on them and it doesn't have a nest, then we know that we can discount that from the running, and that might actually work out. But there is a possibility that we will go for a mission and it's going to be an enemy nest, and I'm really not sure what we're going to do if that happens. Alright, well, that is going to be everything for this episode, though. We've come to the end of our checklist. There's nowhere really for us to move to. If we move in this direction, I won't be able to run this mission anymore, and I very much would like to. Maybe next episode we'll also be able to clear a path to move south. If nothing else, we might be able to clear this one. I don't know, but that is definitely on the cards. It has been 13 days since we turned on, and I think we're doing okay. We've got a relatively comfortable stockpile of materials. We are starting to field some pretty powerful mechs, and we've got a lot of new weapons to play with, including this. I'm going to leave that one for the next episode, though, so thank you very much for joining me for this one. I really do hope you have enjoyed and will be joining me for the next, and I look forward to any feedback you have for the comments down below. But until next time, and as always, do take care, engineers.